Good morning, Divas. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's another Monday. Hopefully, you guys are still relaxing and out of school and all that good stuff. I just want to let you guys hop on real quick and we can get a conversation going about planning for your spring semester. So, if you are on live right now with me, go ahead and say hey. Let me know what you're majoring in. If you catch the replay at another date, go ahead and comment hashtag replay so that I know you guys are getting my messages and you guys are still excited for what's coming for the new year. There's also a messaging button that's at the bottom of this live where you can direct message me. So you can send me any direct messages anytime I'm online. If you have any questions, if you have any, concerns, or if you have anything anonymously that you'd like to share, you can definitely do that in my messenger box. So you guys are hopefully still on break and getting ready to gear up toward going to spring. What classes are you getting ready to take? Shania says, "Hi, I'm majoring in criminal justice." Okay, great. Criminal justice. Yes, space. Thank you, Tisha. Good morning, Tidra. Master in Legal Studies, HR Management. Yes, you are getting ready to go to law school still? How's that going? How's that process going for you? I know getting into, pre-professional school or professional school is a huge, huge thing. Teacher said that was my major. Yes, so you guys are both in criminal justice, so that's pretty cool. What do you like about the program? I always love when other divas get together to share their experiences because that's what this group is for. It's for you guys to, become a community and share your experiences and just have more support. So for the spring semester, how many classes are you guys going to be taking? I know typically in pharmacy school, I think the class load was like 12 to 16 classes. It just depends. Teacher says, "Yes, I love this group." Great. I'm so glad you love this group. We have been going strong for a little bit more than 2 years now. It was founded in August of 2018, so we're just a little bit over 2 years. We've grown to about 4,000 members. So I'm very happy with the growth of this group, and I intend to keep growing it. Yeah, so pharmacy school, normally in school we would take at least, I think it was like 16 classes because the way we had it broke up, you were taking like two or three classes simultaneously that lasted throughout the entire semester. And then every other, like it was broken up into mini semesters. So you would take maybe like, a class that was lasting 3 weeks and then another class that would last like 6 weeks. So in all, every semester we probably took about 16 classes. So I think the load actually got a little bit more difficult in the spring. And then if you're somebody like me, like I tend to, if I'm going to have any depression or any type of issues during the year, it's definitely going to be during the winter months. So it can be a little bit hard to kind of get up and get going in the spring semester, especially after being worn out during the fall semester. So I get it. Teacher says I'm taking the free COVID contact tracing course on Coursera. Yes, I heard that a lot of people are hiring for the contact tracers, and they actually get paid pretty good. So, is that an all at home job, or do you have to go into an office, or how does that work? Because I've been hearing a lot of different things. I think I had a friend who was trying to get her mom to take that course. My mother is also, she volunteers at a COVID testing site in Chattanooga. She's a former pharmacist as well and retired actually almost a year. A year yesterday is when she retired. So she's been volunteering, and I think there's a lot of different opportunities that'll come up due to COVID, especially for healthcare workers, maybe even criminal justice. Like there's just a lot of different things, a lot of movement going on right now. So hopefully, you guys are paying attention. You're watching what's going on around in the world, and you're taking it back and applying it to what's going on in schools and stuff and your majors, because there's a lot of different opportunities that are here out right now that weren't here before COVID-19. So it's been really sad. It's been really difficult. A lot of us are really struggling with, just the emotional side effects, just different changes in our family dynamics, all that good stuff. But I hope a lot of you are able to also try to look at, some of the bright side, if there is a bright side in the situation. And sometimes that means more jobs and more opportunities for us. Oh, I'm missing to. That was amazing. Yes, I love this group. Let me catch up. 3 classes for me this spring. Okay, Roxanne, you're taking 3 classes, major in healthcare administration. Okay. Shania is taking statistics. Okay, statistics. English Comp 2, theater, American government, criminal justice research. This group is so encouraging. Thanks, Carol. I'm glad you are feeling at home here. Okay, so it looks like a lot of you guys are taking 3 classes. Brittany's taking 3 in the spring, but working 3 jobs. Okay, so yeah, if you're working 3 jobs, you need to be real strategic about your class load, because sometimes we think, okay, I'm going to take more classes so I can get this out of the way sooner, and then we end up shooting ourselves in the foot because we got a lot of other things going on around us. So if you are working 3 jobs and you're going to take 3 courses in the spring, let that be, something that's not so difficult. Try to take your easy classes when you're filled up outside of school. I'm starting slow, 1 to 7 week class for spring, and we should see after that. Okay, teacher. Teacher Green, about yes, that depression is no joke. If you are somebody who gets to feeling down and stuff like that, seasonal depression is a thing. It's definitely a thing for me. My father passed away a year to the date yesterday, 2 days after Christmas last year, and it's been rough. So I definitely can. That on top of seasonal depression is rough. So for me, spring was. Well, before I had a choice. When pharmacy school, you don't really have a choice. But when I had a choice, spring would be like my easier semester. I would try to, schedule a lot of my easier courses during the spring when I had the choice. Teacher, feel free. Talking about the COVID cracking course. She retired now, wants something to do. Yeah, I've had a lot of people discuss maybe giving that to their retired parents. Because it is something they can do. And I believe that you can even do that from home as well, if I'm not mistaken. But if you guys have any questions about that, teacher said to message her if you have any questions, because she's taking the course right now. So I'm sure she'll be happy to give you as much information as she has on that subject. She says you get certified for free, and you can even have a GED and make about $28 an hour. So yeah, that sounds awesome, especially if it's a job that you can do from the comfort of your own home. Yeah, the statistics, she said, I'm just glad to be done. Yeah, statistics is, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people make it a little bit more difficult than it has to be, because I think it gets a reputation for being a very difficult course. I took statistics when I was I started taking statistics, I think the fall of 2011, and I had my babies, my twin daughters, in the fall of 2011 also. So I was very pregnant while taking statistics. So I really didn't, I just took the course because, of course, it was required. So I really didn't go into the course to try to take it to really understand it. I went into the course knowing it was something that I had to pass. I was very pregnant, and that's what I was going to focus on, was just passing. So if you ask me a lot of things about statistics, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you, but I got an A in the course because I literally studied for the test. So one of the resources that I used was Khan Academy. It was very helpful in explaining some of those concepts. So I would recommend, if you are taking statistics and you feel like you're going to struggle with it, I'm laughing because teacher has put statistics in this little running man next to it. Like she's not really interested in taking that class. But if you have to take statistics, I would recommend you definitely finding something to supplement the class. It can be something that's very boring. Most people have to take statistics at least twice. Yeah, if statistics is a class that you struggle with, and you end up having to take it again, then don't feel like it's a failure. A lot of people have to take that class more than once, so it just is what it is. Just get in there and pass it. She said statistics for dummy helped me. Yes, anything outside of the lecture work for me. It's very hard for me to pick up information through just words. I have to put my hands on something, or I have to read it for it to stick. And in statistics, there was a lot of just lecturing, and I didn't get a lot of examples. So Khan Academy helped me. So KAHN Academy. If you are in school and you don't know about Khan Academy, you're missing out. You need to get on Khan Academy, and there's a wealth of information about a lot of different subjects. That is something that really helped me with A and P as well. Anna says, my mom passed the day after Christmas, my senior year of high school. Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that. I know that is definitely rough. Yeah, so that depression does kick in, especially when you have events like that. Teacher said, wow, my dad passed 3 years ago. He was one of the reasons why I went back to school and pursuing law school. Yeah, a loss of a parent is very hard. And, honestly, I felt like I would probably take it a lot worse than I am right now. So I'm just proud of myself for kind of keeping it all together right now. Yes, Khan Academy is awesome. Yes, check it out. If somebody has the link, please post it in the comments, because that is something that will help out tremendously. That and Quizlet. If you don't know about Quizlet, then you need to check Quizlet out too, because Quizlet is the bomb. Okay. I use our online tutors heavy while taking statistics. They talk me through every problem. Yes. So listen to the ladies here. If you're taking statistics, definitely reach out. Make a list of some outside resources that you can use. Do not struggle in statistics alone. Okay. I am still working on bringing out the math tutoring service. So collegemathexperts.com will be launching this semester, actually. So I'll be looking for a few of you guys who are interested in math tutoring, so that you guys can kind of try out our service. And I'm very excited to bring that as an additional resource as well. So it will be paid tutoring. However, we're going to be hiring some of the best math tutors that I can find in the area, because I realize that with us, for me, I am good at math. However, math is not something that I would want to take online. So statistics, calculus, physics, all those different classes, those are not classes that I personally would take online, because it's very involved. It takes a lot more discipline for me in order to do very well in those classes. So historically, I would take English and other classes online, but for me, math is not for me online. Okay. However, with this COVID situation happening, a lot of people are being removed from their classes, their face-to-face classes, and they're being forced to take math online. So I figured that the best way to kind of help the community with that would be to offer a tutoring service. So it's coming out at the end of this, not at the end, in the middle of this semester. February the 3rd, I believe, is when we're launching. I'll have to check with my assistants, but collegemathexperts.com is where you can go if you're looking for math tutoring. And later on in the month, what I'll be doing is offering or running a contest. So whoever enters can potentially win a free semester of math tutoring. So that's coming up next. Tisha, do you have ADHD? I've never been tested for ADHD, but I definitely feel like I do. Back in when I grew up, with my parents, I have older parents. My dad was 83 when he passed away. I'm 36, so there's a big age gap there. I come from a generation of black folks who don't really believe in things like ADHD at the time. So I if I did bad in class, I would just get my butt whooped. So there's that. But I definitely believe that I have ADHD. It's just very hard for me to concentrate, very hard for me to focus. But growing up, I've learned a lot of different ways to kind of trick myself or to work with myself. So there's that. I was the opposite. I took all my math classes online because I couldn't sit through a math lecture. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody is going to be different. And like, Tisha is saying, and she says, I know my tribe. Yeah, you're right. I probably do have ADD. That's why I always have my hands in so many different things and so many different businesses. It's just really hard for me to focus. Yeah, you're probably right. I do have ADHD. But yeah, it's just different for everybody. You have to work with how you learn, and you have to understand. I figure that you have to understand very soon how you learn as a child, because it's going to take you all the way through adulthood. I already know that I have certain quirks about myself. It's very hard for me to take in verbal information. So I know that I have to write things down. I know that I have to read things more than other people do, just to get to the same result. So I've told the story several times before, but I got in superlatives when I was going to school after I graduated pharmacy school. They gave away superlatives at our like senior dinner, and the superlative that I got was least likely to come to class. And I stopped coming to class when I wasn't required to, because I was wasting a lot of time just getting back and forth, because I have twin daughters, and I was literally getting up at like 4:30 in the morning to drop my kids off at daycare by 6, so that I could take 2 hours in traffic to be at my classes at 8 a.m. and then sit there for 4 hours for one class. Our class would last from 8 to 12, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we had another class that lasts from like 1 to 5. So that, it was just doing me a lot more damage. It wasn't working smart with myself for me to be getting up and going to class every day. So they named me least likely to go to class. The joke's on them, because my name is still Dr. Lorraine Kamisha, just like theirs. But I stopped going to class. Oh my God, I think I have it too. Is one of the symptoms getting bored with a project or task easily. I'm not quite sure. I don't necessarily get bored. It just comes a place where things just start getting really mushy for me, and I just have to take a break. Teacher said, I got diagnosed at 34, 10 years ago. Coping strategies are great, but meds made me even better. Absolutely, Tisha. Now that I haven't been diagnosed with, and I haven't really taken any medication, but I do have my own coping strategies with that. It does I've realized that it does kind of make relationships hard. Like my boyfriend, insists that I don't pay him any attention, but I have to keep reminding him, hey, I have like a learning disability. If you I can't take in a bunch of information, with you just verbally telling me like this. You have to show me something, write it down. Like if you want me to read a meme or something, don't say it, just show it to me, and then I'll take it in a lot better. So there's that. But yeah, ADHD is definitely something that you should have some type of coping strategies for Black women with ADHD. Okay, Tisha, about to launch a platform for Black women with ADHD. Tisha, I would love to have you on one day on one of our lives. I plan on starting doing lives in the group as well, some during the evenings, so that we can talk about, some of the issues. My lives on Monday mornings are definitely just for motivation. I want to just start hopping on here regularly so you can get to know me and I can get to know you a little bit more. I've done a lot of work on creating a space and creating our website and our blog posts and all that good stuff. But now I really want to lean into just the motivation factor, just being more of a support, and you guys know who I am, and me knowing who you guys are. And I think that is a great direction to move into. Teacher said, please keep us posted. I would love to have you on and talk about ADHD, because it's definitely something that a lot of women deal with. And our signs and symptoms are different than males who deal with ADHD. So especially, Tisha, if you are talking about, doing this for women, Black women, or women, period, we definitely need to know the signs and symptoms, because as we know, in a male-focused society, a lot of times they will, put the signs and symptoms where, it fits the male patients, but it doesn't really fit us. My boyfriend's daughter is autistic. We drive him crazy. If anybody has questions, hit me up. I wish I could stay on, but sign me. Okay, Tisha, you have a good day. And definitely inbox me, and we'll get that ADHD talk popping, okay? Anna Marie says her daughter has ADHD and adjustment disorder, so being home and being homeschooled now has been a little rough. I absolutely agree with you. It has been rough on moms with ADHD as well, not just the kids. It's a family thing, because I tend to get frustrated when my concentration is broken, and it's really hard to kind of maintain those boundaries when you're working from home, and then you got kids who are also homeschooling and stuff like that, it gets very, I don't want to say annoying. It gets very frustrating because I feel like sometimes I don't have a minute to think clearly. So that's probably a symptom, like frustration when you're interrupted and stuff like that. Just orders being homeschooled is now being a little rough. Yes, my older daughter, I believe, struggles a little bit as well. She's very smart, very bright. Before all this COVID stuff happened, she was in the gifted program at school. But if she got anything negative on her report card, it was definitely like, I need to pay attention, or she needs to pay attention a little bit more. I can tell her something and she will go off and do something completely opposite. And at first it was very frustrating. I thought that she wasn't obeying, but I definitely see a look myself in her. So I believe she's struggling as well. Teacher said she don't want to go. Stay with us as long as you can. Yes, ma'am. Stay with us as long as you can. Come join our conversation. I'm not going to keep you on live for too long. I'm going to stay for about, I don't know, another 10 or 15 minutes or so. I also do a live for one of my other groups that is for busy business owners as well. So that's at 10. So I'm going to stay with you guys for a little bit. Is she really, really literal? You mean like my daughter, is she really literal? It's hard to say. When I can tell when she's upset, like she's one of the most literal people I've ever known. Like, but she's really upset and she's just trying to be an ass. Like, she gets really literal, really literal, really literal. So I can't really answer that because I know that's one of her, like, when she's been triggered, she definitely gets really literal with you, and that's her way of kind of like being smart with you. But that's Hopi. I have twin daughters. They just turned 9, and it's Hope and Faith, and Hope, we call her Hopi. Gwendolyn says the pandemic has, yes, it has definitely exacerbated ADHD symptoms. And it's a hard transition, and I'm a person who recognizes that change has to happen, and we're going to go through change, and change is just a part of life. However, I guess I'm a little bit of a control freak too, so I kind of like to micromanage my changes. Like if I feel like I feel things around me, then I intentionally change. I don't like when things are just snatched. So that I can see that can be hard for people, especially that have ADHD. I was planning on pulling my kids out and homeschooling them before the pandemic happened. So this year we were going to homeschool anyway. So when, the school started shutting down and the pandemic started going down, it was stressful, especially for somebody like me. However, I feel like because I'd already made that decision to make that change, it wasn't as stressful for me as it could have been for other people. So yeah, no one was prepared for this change. There was nothing I don't think anybody could do to be prepared for a change this big. However, I think just by making that decision beforehand, it saved me a lot of back and forth, because one thing I do know that I have is anxiety. So I will get very with that back and forth. Like the schools in my area, they were open 1 minute and then they were closed the next. And then 2 weeks, they were saying they were going to open in 2 weeks, and then they pushed it back for another week. And then they were saying they want you to show up, and then they didn't want you to show up. Like that back and forth would have just put me all the way through the ringer. I couldn't do that. She said 10 to 15 minutes in ADHD time is like 2 hours. Yeah. Could you imagine me sitting in class for 4 whole hours being talked to? Like, I don't need to be talked to that long. I don't like it. Definitely being locked inside was very difficult. Yes, I agree. And I'm not quite sure if they are going to lock us down again, but I want to see what happens after like the holiday travel, New Year's and all that stuff. I don't know. Teacher says, "Oh my God, you have it. You're one of us. So you just gonna diagnose me." I'll take take it if I do. I definitely know there's something different about the way that I learn than other people. And I've been very in tune with that since a very little girl. She said, Anna says, I felt bamboozled after fighting my daughter's school for over a year to get her 504. It was finally approved. Then following day, spring break began, and they never went back to school because of the pandemic. Yeah, it's just been a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy stuff. Undiagnosed ADHD is often mixed up as depression, especially in women. I agree with you. I haven't been officially diagnosed with ADHD or depression. However, I'm very in tune with myself and how I move and my different seasons and all that good stuff. So I know that I went depressed. Actually, one of my most depressing periods, I think out of my entire life, was probably after I graduated school. Like, pharmacy school was so rigorous, and I had 2 daughters that were babies when I started. I was in a horrible marriage, a serial cheater, ended up divorcing him, being separated throughout during school. My 3rd year of pharmacy school, I separated from him. Just a lot of things went on in my 6-year journey of going back to pharmacy school. So when I graduated, of course, I was like up here. I was on a high. I was excited. I was ecstatic, all those things that come along with graduation. But it's like I went from here, and I think from May to maybe like July or August, I was like on this high. And then around August, it just all this crap that I had suppressed so that I could get through school and I could keep up with what was going on in pharmacy school. All that mess that I suppressed and I put behind me just came crashing down like 3 or 4 months later. And I spent maybe like 2 months just crying nonstop. Good for you. Fight for your babies. Yes, 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 yes. Is this Aziza? Miss Gilbert says, I'm still trying to figure out how I learn. It's not one set way of learning. It's so difficult. Absolutely. You really have to figure out how you learn. I think one of the biggest disservices that our school system, the way that it's set up right now, it does not take into account the different ways that people learn. I don't necessarily see things like ADHD, autism, those types of things as being like negatives or disabilities. We all learn very differently. And the way that they label us in school and the way that they, they have to diagnose all those different things. I feel like a lot of that comes from just this one track mind that everybody has to learn the same way. Everybody's going to be the same way. And there's like this perfect combination of how we should be in order to be successful. And I feel like a lot of us just don't fit that ideals. And then we get these labels and disabilities and stuff like that. But actually, I feel like ADHD has helped me be successful in life because even in business, there's ways that I set up my business to account for or to, account for ADHD and definitely anxiety. Like I set my businesses up a way that if I don't show up, I'm still going to be making money because with anxiety, you worry a lot. And a lot of times, even though you might not have physically done a lot of work, that mental load of worrying about everything just is exhausting. So sometimes I wake up in the morning and I might have a schedule set and it's just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it today because I'm exhausted and I can't think about what I need to think about because I've been spending all my time, anxious and having anxiety. So like I said, that was one of the reasons why I thank God that I made that decision to take my kids out of school and homeschool them because that back and forth would have had my anxiety. Like I would have probably been crippled with anxiety. Teacher says exactly. Teacher, I still am. Her teachers haven't been following her 504, so I had to do a conference to all of them. Girl, yes, fight for your babies, because if we don't, nobody will. Crazy. Yeah, so it's a superpower when we're in our element. It is. I believe it is a superpower. Having anxiety and whether I'm ADHD or not, like I said, I know that I learn differently. I know I do. And it's been awesome to kind of realize that especially with my kids, because I realize that they're going to learn differently. And even though my girls are twins, they have different habits and they learn differently. They're both very bright. They were straight A students before we got out of school, but they definitely learn very differently. So I do believe that it's a superpower. And if you can learn to use it to your advantage and learn more about yourself and how you learn, then you can definitely take it and go very far with it. You're going places. That's one of the keys to being successful in school, is to understand how you learn. Like, for instance, I know that I learn things better when I can write them down. So what I would do is, when I was studying, I would copy my notes, and then if I could then teach it to somebody else without looking at my notes, then I knew that it was something that would stick. But if you just try to lecture me and talk to me all day, like, I'm gonna miss the entire lecture. After about 10 or 15 minutes, I can't even concentrate. I'm done. Like, I don't want to hear it. So that's just something that I've always known about myself. So when I stopped going to class, I didn't stop studying, and I didn't stop doing what I was supposed to do. Like, I literally just sat at home, and I could take the lectures and I could, play them for 10, 15 minutes, stop it, go over my notes, play another 10, 15 minutes, go fold some clothes, come back, do another 10 or 15 minutes. Like, I still was doing what I was supposed to do, but I wasn't in class. Culturally, we don't take our mental health due to stigma. No, we do not take care of our mental health. We do not. How do you cope with mental tiredness from anxiety? Any strategies you like to share? So, Akima, yes, there are strategies that I use to cope with the stress, the tiredness from anxiety. So one of the things I do is I try to leave myself open for me time as much as I can. So I schedule a lot of time where I can just kind of be by myself with my thoughts. So it doesn't matter if it's 10 to 15 minutes a day or first thing in the morning, or, I normally, schedule some time for myself to have a massage once a month, just to kind of, it's easy to worry about a lot of things, when you don't have scheduled time for yourself, for me anyway. So when I look at the calendar and I know, okay, Monday at 10 a.m., I'm going to be able to relax or round down because I have a massage, or, maybe I'm going out to lunch, I'm going to treat myself. Like, that helps me manage that stress. I would also say while having a schedule is something that I definitely recommend doing, if you are somebody who has anxiety and you're wearing yourself out and you are, mentally stressed, I would say to kind of be forgiving of yourself with schedules. Like, don't schedule everything down to the minute. Like, maybe block your time off, instead of like, okay, at 10 o'clock I'm gonna check email, and at 12 o'clock I'm gonna do this. And like, block time where, okay, from 10 to 12 I'm going to do these activities. And to me, it helps me not worry or stress so much over, getting this long list of things done, because I will make a to-do list and then spend the next hours worrying about what's on the to-do list. Like, so I would say those are some coping mechanisms. I would definitely say making sure that you are getting enough sleep, you are taking care of your body, you're eating right, you're drinking your water, you're exercising. That definitely helps cope. It's not something that I'm always perfect with, but I do realize that I'm not as stressed, and I don't have as many attacks or many depressive modes when I'm treating myself better. He said, "You're better than I am. I only picked up on it when my son was diagnosed." I was like, wait a minute. Yes. I mean, I don't know. It's, for my background and for my upbringing, I feel like the old school mentality is like, okay, you're going to do this, and this. And a lot of times that causes things like anxiety and depression and all that good stuff. So, with my kids, I committed myself to like really looking at them and really giving them the tools that they personally need to be successful. So I don't care what it is they do. I'm not forcing them to go to college. I'm not worried about if they're going to have a job. I just want them to be successful in their own element. So I'm always watching them. You're going to laugh, but orgasm tell, girl, I know. I didn't want to say that out loud, but yeah, get a bullet and keep it close. She said, Lorraine, you're on it. I try to be on it, I try to, but it's hard sometimes. Just like my boyfriend says, when I don't pay any attention to him. I'm like, boy, I know everything about you. I'm paying attention to you more than you realize. But that verbal communication thing, yeah, I'm not gonna catch that all the time. I'm just not. But I'm over here rolling, Tisha. You talking about some get a bullet and keep it close. Get a bullet and keep it close. Yeah, so hopefully that helped you a little bit. Okima, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. But yeah, those are some of the strategies that I use. Definitely schedule yourself some me time. Make sure you're getting enough rest and taking care of your body so that when you are going through those, anxiety attacks, or you're having like these depressive modes, that you have more energy to draw from. So I just kind of make sure that my energy is always, at a constant level. I don't want this and I don't want that. I want, this. So I get that through more routine. I was diagnosed, but my mother refused to put me on medication. Yeah, see, the medication is something that would scare me too as a parent. So, maybe she was scared to put you on medication because some of those side effects and stuff is just. But I've heard that you can reduce it with a lot of your diet and stuff like that. But if you need medication, definitely get the medication. I would try everything if I was struggling with it. But to be honest, I would be hesitant to put my child on medication too. But I would definitely give it to them if it was something that I know that they needed. Yeah. So, and teacher says, at least your mother got you diagnosed. I don't tend to like to talk about the at least. I don't like the least. But I do agree with Tisha that is a bright side. She did get you diagnosed. I've never been diagnosed, and nor have my children been diagnosed. But I definitely recognize the signs. Your daughter's father is the same way. Yep. Okay, good, Akima. I'm glad that it help. So if you have any other questions about ADHD or any, coping strategies or just anything, my inbox is always open. I'll be on live Mondays at 9 a.m. unless I have any type of travel or anything like that scheduled. So you're definitely welcome to hop on, ask any questions. If you need any resources, let me know. I will do my best to get them to you as well. Really contemplating on talking to my doctor again. You should always talk to your doctor. If you're having any type of concerns, definitely talk to your doctor. And also another good resource that a lot of people miss is your pharmacist. You can actually go into your pharmacy and you can have a conversation with your pharmacist about, your medications or any type of, situation that you may be having or you're not quite sure about. Getting a doctor's appointment is a lot different than just walking into the Walgreens. And a lot of times they're busy, but as a pharmacist myself, I definitely like to take time to talk to my patients about their medications, because no question is a dumb question. And, it's about our well-being. So definitely talk to your doctor again if you're having any issues. But if you can't make it to the doctor, try to have a conversation with your pharmacist as well. Especially since it's so hard right now with the pandemic and everything. Getting those doctor's appointments are a hot commodity right now. Well, alrighty, guys. I'm not going to keep you much longer. I will definitely be back on maybe sometime this week. Tisha says follow her on Clubhouse at Letitia Green. Awesome. So yes, definitely follow her on Clubhouse. If you would like to follow me on Clubhouse, my handle is at Lorraine Kamisha as well. Most of my Clubhouse activity, I haven't really been too active on Clubhouse yet. I'm more so on TikTok. So if you like TikTok and you like funny videos and things like that, follow me on TikTok. I'm at Lorraine Kamisha there as well. I enjoy making people laugh. And I would love to start doing some content that's more geared towards back to school divas as well. But a lot of my Clubhouse content is about working smarter, not harder in business, how to make more revenue while working less hours. So if you're interested in that, definitely follow me on Clubhouse. And if you're interested in just, some silly things, follow me on TikTok. All right. So I will definitely see you guys later. I really appreciate you guys joining me. If you would love to be a help to this group and be a help to me, one of the best ways you can do that is by inviting other members or by sharing our content on our Facebook page, Back to School Divas. So we do have a fan page. If you have not liked it yet, please go ahead and do that. Go ahead and like our page and then share some of the content or share some of your experiences or testimonial about this group on your personal page. That would help me tremendously as I'm trying to grow this group and then provide more resources and services for you guys. You can also check out our website, www.backtosschooldivas.com. There's a lot of good articles there about some of the issues that we talked about today. I believe there's one about ADHD. I will definitely be posting that in the group a little bit later about some coping strategies for us as adults going back to school. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to inbox me later. Have a good rest of your Monday and have an awesome week. I will see you guys in the new year.